It is officially time to talk all things 2026 planners and journals. Let's get into it. I'm only making one slight change to my planner and journal system for 2026, so we'll cover that in a minute. But for now, let's just go ahead and start off with talking about everything that I'm taking with me to 2026. As we all know, I have been digitally planning for about 4 years. I feel like December makes exactly 4 years, and I have been doing so using an iPad. I got an iPad again. I've always been an iPad user, but I went some time without having one, so I got a new one in 2021. Yes. And so I decided to explore the world of digital planning. And I did purchase, I think, one planner, but then I quickly learned that I could just make my own planner. So in 2025, I made my own planner. And in 2026, I have made my own planner. For my 2025 planner, I had my vision board here at the front. And then I had this bingo card, and then I had my monthly planning page, my monthly mood board, and then my monthly reflection. I'm taking that whole system with me to 2026. It was not flawed, so I'm going to be doing that again. So I have gone ahead and made myself a 2026 planner. It has a spot for my vision board, for my January calendar, my January mood board, and then my January reflection, and then it just repeats. So it's February, March, so on and so forth. I did create this real quick, and I am going to make this available for free, of course. So check the link in my description for the link to access this free planner. I like using my digital planner in creative ways. I don't know, there's just unlimited access to different pen colors and different pencil types and markers and highlighters and stickers, and you can just do all the things and for free or cheap. So I'm definitely keeping this system with me going into 2026. I will be doing my vision board in my 2026 digital planner. I will be planning my month at the top of each month in my digital planner. I will be filling out my monthly mood board, which just consists of various photos that capture the month, and then of course my monthly reflection, where I will be capturing my highs, lows, favorites, lessons, anything else I want to capture, of course, and my habits. Before I became a digital planner, I was a paper planner, or I've considered myself to be both, honestly, but I did go without a paper planner, a personal paper planner, for a minute, for some years. But then in May, I believe, of 2025, I decided to reincorporate paper planning, and in doing so, I decided on incorporating a personal size ring bound planner. Y'all know I love a ring bound planner real bad. I feel like they are one of the more flexible ways to do planning, either a string bound planner, a ring bound planner, or a disc bound planner. All of those offer a lot of flexibility if you need that. I don't know that I need a lot of flexibility so much as I thoroughly enjoy only planning on paper when I feel like it. And this system allows me to do that. So this is what my planner looks like currently. Now I do plan various types of things in my paper planner, but the main use case is for weekly planning. So I like to plan out my week with all of my events and all of my tasks, and then I can do the same thing for my day as well, because I have a daily planning section. But since I got this planner, I've primarily been using it for weekly and daily planning. So that's what I'm going to do in 2026. So next up, we have my tried and true Google Calendar. This is my Google Calendar for January. And I like to use my Google Calendar for pre-planning. Basically, if you tell me that you're going on a birthday trip in December of 2026 and you have the dates and you give those to me, I'm going to put that on my calendar. So anything that is down the line is going on my Google Calendar. Again, I use this for pre-planning, and I feel like the whole world is using some type of digital calendar, and it just makes sense for me to be participating in that. I get calendar invites all the time for different meetings and such, and it really just makes sense for me to also be in that number. So I use my Google Calendar for that reason. I was using Apple Calendar a long time ago, but then I discovered that Google Calendar was far superior. That is, until earlier this year, I want to say, Apple Calendar got a huge update and it's looking good. I am trying to slowly transition to Apple Calendar, but I've just been using Google Calendar for so long that that task is a little daunting, and I'm really comfortable with Google Calendar. But essentially I could have my Apple Calendar to look exactly like my Google Calendar. So I'm in the process of doing that, but for now I'm still primarily using Google Calendar, and I really like it because they have what's called Google Tasks, a part of the Google Calendar, and I like using that for keeping track of different tasks, specifically recurring tasks. Like every month I give my dog her monthly meds, and so I have that on my calendar as a recurring task so that I don't forget, and then other similar tasks like that. I like to think that my Google Calendar's main use in my life is for place holding. I don't know if that's a real term, but I feel like I'm always planning things with people, and we'll put it on our calendars as like a placeholder. It may not come to fruition. It may be something that's planned months down the line. It may change. The dates may change. The time may change. So just having that flexibility is really important to me. Finally, we have my girl Notion. Obviously, I use Notion, and I use Notion for everything, as we know. What you're currently looking at is my budget for December. So I put my monthly budget in Notion. Notion also houses my annual budget, my monthly goals, my annual goals, anything related to social media planning, whether it's sponsorships or any kind of speaking engagements. I track all of the business income in here and business expenses, all of which I use when it's time to file taxes. I track my social media content calendar and social media content in here. I have my book journal in here, which includes all of the books that I've read and my reviews on them and all of the ones that are to be read. I do meal planning in here for the week. If I'm meal planning, I don't meal plan it every week, but if I do that in here. I like to plan out my quarters, and I do that in here as well. I have information related to my family in here and plans for them and that type of stuff. That's all in Notion. Literally everything that you could possibly think of is in Notion. Everything that is not tracked in my paper planner or my digital planner is tracked in Notion. So Notion is pretty much my hub and my whole life. Now, Notion recently came out with a calendar as well, and I've been trying to give it a go, but it's not really doing it for me. Google Calendar just is that girl, unfortunately. Like, Google Calendar is down here as a widget, so I can always see what's coming up. And then I have this widget here for Google Calendar. So my Google Calendar is just everywhere, and it's giving me notification when tasks are coming up or when events are happening. And so I prefer Google Calendar for that reason. Also, I really like Google Calendar because if I add an event to my Google Calendar, and I add the address, I can just click on the event, tap the address, and then bring up the directions, because I need directions for everywhere that I'm going because I do not live in my hometown or home state. Oh, and one other thing, on my home screen of my phone, I have these reminders lists. So I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. And if I'm out and about and I need to add a task to my to-do list real quick and I don't have my physical planner on me or whatnot, I can just add it in right here real quick. So this is on my phone and it's also on my iPad. You might be wondering about what I'm gonna do for work. Well, every year that I have worked up until now, I have used a paper planner for work. But at the job that I'm currently working, it has become apparent to me that I don't really need a paper planner. So I'm gonna go without it. That is because my Microsoft Outlook, which is what my company uses, is filled to the brim with all the things. I have every appointment on there, every meeting, every this, every that. Everything is on there. Occasionally I have some to-dos that I need to actually write down, and I'll honestly just grab a sticky note, stick it on my laptop, and just write the task on there. And that's been working for me. So if you were to tell me to relinquish to you my planner and journal system, I would just need to give you these two. My iPad and my paper planner. That's it. Everything else is, not really that important. Sure, I have my phone, but my phone and my iPad are replicas of one another. I can get on Notion on here. I can get on Google Calendar on here. I can do reminders on here and whatnot, but I can also do them on my iPad. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually not. And I have worked tirelessly, I feel like, for the last couple of years trying to perfect the system. The system's perfected. The system's very much perfected. I very much always need a paper planner on me because I'm a paper planner girl, and I need one on me to write down my tasks and such. I just have to do it. And so that's why I have this guy here. So to me, that's more like real-time planning, but then I also need a system for all of my future planning, and for years and years and years and years, Notion and Google Calendar have been working in tandem to get that job done. And then of course we have my digital planner, which is more for creativity purposes and journaling and just reflecting and all of that stuff. I don't really want to do that in my paper planner, though I could, but I don't wanna. I know that was a lot, but that is my current planner and journal ecosystem. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.